How you doing?
Doing good, dog. I'm doing really good. Business is going good. Life is going good. Can't complain. God is at work, man. How about you, bro? 5K? We on pace?
Yeah, man. Got about 4,000 so far.
Hell yeah, bro. What day do we start that on?
April 18 to May 18.
Oh my God, you got 17 days, bro. Might as well just run it up. 6K, 7K. Fuck them. I like the stash, by the way, bro. That's the first thing I noticed.
I was gonna say gonna have to see who wore it better.
It's gonna be. You do this just for the pod, huh?
I shaved it today. I was trying to shave some time off my swim too. I think it worked, but yeah, figured we had to get rid of the beard. Let us know in the comments who's rocks the stash better.
But all right, bro. I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
All right, just jump right into this one. Who is Matt Moore?
Man, wow. Son of God is the first thing that comes to mind when you say that. Who is Matt Moore, son of God? Ultimately, I'm just a guy who is just trying to make other people's lives better, serving them in any way I can, bringing them together. In community is the biggest way I do that. So, yeah, brother, son of God is how I want to answer that one.
Love it. So tell us about your business, Elevate, and all these endeavors you got going on.
Yeah, so I guess I'll kind of start from the beginning. I think that'd be the best way to run through the story, starting from the beginning. So when I was in high school, actually, I first started lifting weights at 11 years old. My brother, he got me in the gym at 11. And as you can imagine, any other 11-year-old, we did not want to be in the gym. We wanted to be playing with our friends, ripping video games, doing anything but go work out and do what you're being told to do. So there was a lot of friction between me and my brother, him pushing me to develop, self-develop, just driving me always just on me. Like anybody you can think of, driving somebody and holding them to a higher standard, like he held me to a higher standard than that. um and fast forward, I'm beyond grateful for that. But 11 years old, that's when my parents got divorced, and that's kind of the catalyst for self development in both me and my brother's life. Like I said, he pushed me to get into the gym and start developing really into the man I am today. So I started lifting at 11. Fast forward, COVID cancels my senior year of baseball, and so college baseball was everything I've ever wanted, bro. That was my dream, college baseball or bust for me. And COVID canceled senior year, and for some reason, I was done with it. I didn't have the Division 1 offers that I wanted, so I was done. It was just like, yeah, that's that. And I started selling training programs on Snapchat for just $5 to $10. So I was working out a ton because I've been training for 6 7 years at that point. So I'm still working out a ton. I had been known for my physique around my hometown and my high school. Like I was the guy who was strong. I was the guy who had the physique at such a young age. Like I was that guy. So I started developing the identity around training and health and fitness. So I started slinging Snapchat programs, $5 to $10. I make it $400 or $500 one summer, just slinging these programs. And then comes time to decide, college or failure. My parents ultimately gave me two decisions, go to college or failure. And for many, I chose failure. In many people's eyes, not going to college is choosing failure. So for many people, I chose failure, but I moved up to Indianapolis and I got a job, moved in with my brother in the big city. Guess I didn't lead with that, but I'm from Indiana. Moved up to the big city, Indianapolis, and got a job working a 9 to 5, 40 hours a week in a call center. I'm just taking calls for 10 hours a day from truck drivers all over the world and helping them solve their problems. And this point in my life, I was just lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I knew I had a passion for health and fitness, but I didn't know what I wanted to do ultimately. So I'm just sitting at this call center job, lacking purpose. But what I do have is the gym, and I'm just grinding, man. Like I'm grinding. I'm setting PRs left and right. I'm getting really strong, developing a physique. I start competing in strongman, and I'm at this gym called Iron Valley Barbell. And this is really where it all started for me, as far as entrepreneurship, because the owner of this gym, he had a business. He's big on Twitter. Zach Homol, for anybody listening to this, whether you know him or you don't, he's got a good brand, good business on Twitter. And so I am at his gym just as a member. And then I hired him for a consultation, and ultimately he offered me a job where I became a trainer. So now I have a part-time job at the call center, part-time job as a trainer, and I'm trying to build up the online presence in Twitter. And so I'm tweeting, um, working the call center still 10 to 12 hours, 3, 4 days a week. And then I'm trying to train clients inside the gym, doing it all, jack of all trades. I'm broke as hell, counting every penny. When I buy a steak, it's a big deal. I'm taking pictures of it because I just spent $20 on a steak. Like, it's a really big deal. So, I mean, fast forward a little bit from there. March of 2022, this is kind of where it all began. I quit being a trainer at the gym, and I quit my job. I moved back to my hometown, and I go all in on this thing that I call Elevate, that had started January 1st, 2022. Over the 3 months, I had built to maybe 20 members, 30 members. But March of 2022, that's when I ultimately went all in on building Elevate and this community of men. And over 2022, I moved back to my hometown, and I just went all in on building it, brother. And 2022 elapses, and at the end of 2022, heading into 2023, we had 105 members, I believe. So starts January 2022, and then January 1st, 2023, I gained 105 members. And now here we are, not too long after that. I've since moved down to Florida, in the Sunshine State, and just focusing on scaling from there. I know I covered a lot, so I'll stop. But yeah, there's kind of the background a little bit there.
Yeah, no, it's all great stuff. So you're just over a year going full in on this thing, going all in. How is it going
Yep.
so far? Tell us about Elevate and this business you've built.
Yeah, dude. So, like I said, 105 members, going into January 2023. But what was crazy is I got 60 members in the last 2 months of 2022. So between November and December, I had a spike of 60 guys. And a lot of people, ask me, like, how? Like, what did you do? There was nothing crazy. There was no crazy marketing scheme. All I did was double my price at the new year and tell people, hey, the price is going to double at the new year. And I ultimately chalk it up to God was working. That's what I tell everybody when they ask. There's no crazy marketing scheme. Yes, I did have the price doubling at the new year. So that, I guess you can say, was some sort of drive from the market to join. But I don't think that's ultimately what drove people. I think God is ultimately what drove people in. And so we got 60 guys. And I'll be honest, I wasn't ready for 60 guys to join. Like, this is a big business lesson for me. I was not ready to fulfill. You can imagine going from 40, like 40 guys is pretty easy to make sure all guys are getting value. Like, I can have one-on-one conversations pretty often with 40 guys. I hosted an event or two, had all the guys come. Like, it was cool. I can keep everybody tight knit. Community can be something special with 40 guys. Well, when 60 guys joined, and then we go into 2023 with 100 guys, I was like, oh, I can no longer do this. Like, I can't do what I've done before. And I was like, I need systems. I need structure. I need like a better business approach to what I'm doing. So that's what I've set out to do over the last 4 months, is just ultimately build systems to be able to scale, elevate, and be able to provide the value, to a mass of guys, 100 guys, 200 guys, 300. I'm hoping to hit 500 before the end of 2023. Big goal, but it's like I learned the lesson of what I needed to deliver at mass, and I think I've got a pretty good structure, having brought on a partner to help me. Yeah, I don't know if that answered your question, but a big lesson I learned in business was just like, dude, you need systems, you need structure, especially when you're trying to scale. You're not going to be able to deliver the value you've been able to deliver before if you don't have systems or structure.
Yeah, and it gets it's a lot to handle as a one man show too. As I'm sure like you kind of are saying already, just having to bring on people and as you scale is inevitable. But I want to go back a little bit. You talked about like your brother, older brother Mitch, being a huge influence for you. Like he kind of started his personal development journey. And before we hopped on the call, I was just catching up on my Super More Bros podcast, which sick name by the way. That's awesome.
Appreciate it, dude.
So yeah, I was just catching up on that. But like how much of that has been responsible for like where you've gone in your life, just kind of having someone to keep you accountable like that?
Everything, dude. I describe Mitch as my hero. Like he has been the guy I've wanted to be my entire life, especially growing up. You know, he was the guy I wanted to be. He went all in on playing baseball. I went all in on playing baseball. Like whatever he did, I was doing. You know, classic younger brother. He's been my hero, and now as I've kind of built my own identity apart from him, I really that was definitely something I struggled with because it was always just what he's doing, what he's doing. That's what I'm going to do. Well, when he went off to college and I was still in high school, I had to figure out who I was going to be. I no longer had big bro next to me to just lead the way and guide me. So that's really where I spent time forming myself, my own identity in that time. But as soon as I graduated high school, we moved back in together. We just like right back connected at the hip. And ever since then, man, like, I got a brother that's a best friend. God just blessed me tremendously. But yeah, he's been everything from us wanting to compete and just challenge each other in the gym, gym partners, to us wanting to compete in challenging each other in who can build the business bigger and faster and better ultimately, and just having that support system in him. He's the guy I go to with any struggle that I have, something, whether it's in business, whether it's in faith, whether it's in relationships, like no matter what I'm struggling with, man, like I just turn to him, he turns to me, and we have a relationship that up until recently I didn't understand that, like, nobody else has this. Like it was like I just have something so special, so unique, and it's ultimately what I deem the biggest blessing in my life.
Yeah, and it's cool, like, that you're both going down this entrepreneur real route and obviously can complement each other. I saw you're adding like a whole finance, Mitch's specialty to Elevate now. Like that's really cool to see.
Yeah, bro, it's great to be able. I'm his best salesman, by the way. Like for anybody listening to this, like I sell his service better than anybody will ever sell his
What
service.
is
Like
his service?
so,
Give a quick plug.
yeah, financial planner. Essentially, the way I like to say is like he'll provide you the clarity amongst the chaos. Like business entrepreneurship, there's a lot of chaos in general, and then when you're trying to manage your finances, manage your money, project the future with your money, and just overall be efficient with your money. As an entrepreneur, first problem you want to solve is money coming in, but once you have that, then it's like, wow, now I got to manage everything. I got to, project for taxes, like do all this stuff. So I think ultimately, you didn't build a business to be the financial planner. So you partner up with him and he provides you that clarity in the chaos.
Let's talk about Elevate a little more. Like what's your goal here? What are you trying to accomplish? What's the long-term goal of why'd you start it?
Yeah. So ultimately, why I started was people struggling to find community. Like, I realized that I am a unique individual, and with that uniqueness comes a lack of relatability with other people. 20 years old, I have a business, like nobody else does. I'm pursuing God. It's not hookups, it's not parties, it's not college, it's not that route. Like, and even if someone is going down that route, like, don't think you can't join Elevate, but I wanted to bring together people who feel called for more. They feel like yourself. You're pushing in entrepreneurship. You're pushing to be a creator. You're pushing to provide for your family. Like you want to be a leader. You want to be a son of God. You want to take life to another level. And I realized that is rare. That is rare. And what comes with that rarity is like that lack of relatability. So I'm sitting in small town Indiana, and I have essentially no friends aside from my brother and a few guys on the internet. Like I got these internet homies, and I'm like, well, I got really awesome connections on the internet, and I have my brother. He's also on the internet because we were apart at that time, but it was like I got to bring people together. Like I got to bring the clan together. We got to get Vinny, who's up in Delaware, connected with Matt, who's down in Florida, with Austin, who's up in Minnesota, because all these guys, they share a common mission. They want to be the absolute best version of themselves. And it's like if they sit there stranded and isolated in Delaware, feeling like they have no one on the same path as them, they're not going to go as far as God needs them to go to serve other people. So that's what the whole thing's about, man. Is just bringing men together to reach their God-given potential. And I think we only do that through brotherhood, through connection, through community.
Yeah, I think that's a huge thing you touched on of like community and there's something to that brotherhood, but just in general, like people are really lacking communities these days. And again, like you said, like people, I think oftentimes in real life may struggle to find people in their day to day that they can like relate to. And I just saw a statistic that was like 10 to 15% of people now like don't have anyone they consider like close friends, and like these
Mm.
statistics are just going up at like an alarming rate. And I'm sure a lot of that is like COVID and just the way the society technology is all kind of advancing. Like people are definitely feeling alone out there.
Absolutely, man. And I think a big thing of it too is, with the technology, we don't know how to connect deeper. We are so focused on sending the text message. Like people are willing to say anything behind a text message, right? Well, if you're willing to say anything behind a text and not to their face, like that's not really who you are then. Because who you are is the man who stands in front of me and speaks clearly and directly. Like that's who you are. And if you're not willing to do that to my face, then that's not who you are. So it's also surface level in today's world due to social media and technology. So what's happened with that is men and ultimately women as well, but people in general, they don't know how to take it deeper. They don't know how to take relationships deeper. And they don't want to embrace the level of vulnerability that comes with taking it deeper because there's no security in relationships anymore. Because I can jump ship, and if I don't like you, Benny, I can go find another friend because I'm connected with a ton of people on social media. So any friction you bring me, any vulnerability you bring me, if I don't like that, that's uncomfy. I don't really like that. It's like we can just jump ship. There's no security in our relationship. Whereas if we can come together and learn how to take relationships deeper, how to get on that deeper level, and I'm not talking about you know what you think about your favorite sports ball team, or what's going down at the bar on Friday night. Like I'm talking about, like, Vinny, like what has God placed in your heart, brother? Like what are you trying to do for yourself, for your family, and for your God? Like the deep levels of a relationship, like that is what I'm trying to guide people to, and bringing them together and then guiding them deeper with each other through vulnerability is the way to do that. And I just think that we lack vulnerability as a society in today's world.
Yeah, for sure. And like like you said, it's all kind of like the surface level relationship. It's all very superficial. It's all like I see it all the time. It's like people do things, I think, too often, not for actually doing it, but to post the picture. Like that's what it's all about. It's all about the clout. It's all about showing like, look at what a good time I'm having. But like, are you really? If you're, you got to like be projecting all this stuff. And yeah, like you said, like there's definitely something that vulnerability, like we saw down in Nashville, with Jeremy and everyone, like through literal like blood, sweat, and tears, like that creates a bond that you don't get, just through text messages and going to the sports ball, watching sports ball at the bar.
Yeah, I always say that, like the like vulnerability is how you bring people closer. I think about relationships in terms of like a ring system. This is how I've really structured my relationships. Is like I have this core circle, the core of my ring system, and it's like the people who are in that core, I'm gonna do anything and everything for. Like those are my 2 a.m. phone calls, Call me up. I'm gonna answer. If you need me to jump on a plane, you need me to hit the car, like whatever you need me to do, 2 in the morning, I'm there. And then, I phase out based on that, a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. And I've had to put some people on that outer ring and it's been tough. Like that's another thing. Like if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, I want these deep relationships and you don't know how to build them, it's like you're gonna have to excavate and remove some of the relationships you have right now to create the space for new ones. Like that's where you're gonna have to start, and that's gonna take some hard conversations. And it's if I wanted to get Vinny out of my life, say Vinny and I are good friends, he's in my life, but he's just not necessarily serving me. We don't have a deep relationship. Number one, if you truly love him, give him the opportunity. It's like, hey, Vinny, I really want to take our relationship to a deeper level. Here's what God has placed in my heart. Here's what I want to do with my life. Like, I would love to kind of take this on with you, brother. Like, what do you want out of life? Let's do this thing together. And if they don't reciprocate, then you got to start layering them out. And you can do that by just naturally not inviting them to things, or you can do that by just giving them the light of day and just having the conversation. And it's not that they're bad by any means. A lot of times people assume that, like, oh, if I have to cut people out of my life, they're bad. It's like, no, you're a good guy. You just don't serve me at a high level. I need people who want to go deeper and want to serve me and provide me value. So those are the people you got to bring in, and the way you bring people in through vulnerability.
Mm. I think while we're on this topic, something I've been thinking about since Nashville is this idea of heal the man, heal the nation. And like,
Mm.
what do you think of that? How do you do that?
Yeah, I think through God. Ultimately, I think I believe that everyone needs to find God, but that's the classic faith answer that probably no one's really going to understand unless you are into faith at a level that I am. I guess I'm not at a crazy level, but I think through God. But I also ultimately think through community. Really, like if you go, when we're waging war, you don't send your troops out alone, right? Like you send them out in waves. So it's like if we want to heal the nation, I'm not saying we got to go to war, but I'm saying whatever we do, we got to do it together. Like we can't send Vinny out to try to build and heal the nation by himself. We can't send myself out to try to build and heal the nation by himself. We got to come together, heal each other together, and then go out to heal the nation. And I think it's so true. Like I think men are the problem with the world as it stands today. I think men are the problem. Men are. I don't know if we want to get into politics too much, but men are
And
the issue, man. Like the men turning to women, men not leading, men not standing on values, men just roll over in today's society. Men are soft. They're just soft. And they're allowing these authority figures, whether it's the government or whatever it is, to just essentially like castrate them. Like they don't want you to believe in your confidence. They don't want you to believe you can have impact on people. They don't want you to believe in God. They want you to believe in the system and the structure. And hopefully my FBI agent doesn't cancel me after this, but it's like, as a man, you have to start by first leading your home. And you have to do that by first leading your life. If you cannot lead yourself, no one's going to follow you. And one great thing I like from my mentor Nick, he always says, like, a leader is someone whom people choose to follow. So many guys today, they want to step up and say they're a leader. It's like, no, you don't just say you're a leader. You only become a leader when people choose to follow you. I didn't start Elevate and immediately have a community of 100 guys. I had to go put myself out there. People chose to follow me on Twitter. People chose to join Elevate, and people choose to continue to stay in it. It's like it's a constant choice. And that's one great thing of entrepreneurship. Like clients have to choose your leadership over and over and over again, time and time again. That's one thing I love about Elevate, like the challenge of the monthly subscription, brother. Like I have to continue keep you buying in every single month. I can't rest on my laurels. Like I got to be providing value. I got to be attacking. I got to be connecting people. But first, you got to start with yourself, and then you got to start with leading those in your life. Like start by leading yourself, and it all comes from the actions you take. If you are not taking action, don't expect you to lead anybody else because you just won't. So first, start taking action, then start leading in your home, whatever that looks like, your immediate circle. Start getting them to take action. and then it'll just expand from there. It's a ripple effect. Like I said, I got over 100 guys, and they're all leaders. Every single one of them. You're one included. Like, you're a leader. You're gonna go impact thousands. So if I impact 100, and they go impact 100, and they go impact 100, like, look at the umbrella there. But it all starts with you.
Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack there, but I'll just add like, easy times create weak men, right? That's what happens. And yeah, like I love your I love this idea of like this subscription model, and I think it's kind of like, I'm trying to figure out next steps I want to take with my business, and I think I want to do something similar, but like obviously geared toward like the financial investing space, because I see like the tremendous value in that. And there's a quote. It's like, you don't have to be the sage on the stage. You just have to be the guide on the side. And because what I ultimately want to do is, like you're saying, is like lead others, but inspire them to like, bring their own value to the table. Like there, because I know everyone has these great ideas. Like I don't always need to be the one like preaching the gospel of Tesla and like telling people, what they should be doing. But just to kind of like unlock like what everybody else has, deep inside, underneath all the superficial stuff we focus on, we talk about all the time.
Totally, brother. That is the mission, and I think that, the deeper stuff inside, I think that's what God is placing there. That's what I deem that spiritual gift, and those just that vision God has placed in your heart. I think once you get past all the bullshit, the worldly bullshit of, I want to drive this car, I want to make this money, I want to have this girl, I want to have this career, I want to do X, Y, Z. Once you get past all of that, and you can sit with yourself, and you're not making decisions based on any of that, you're making decisions based on true, real values. That's when you can sit and have that godly vision. Once you connect with God, and you figure out what that vision He has placed in your heart is, dude, you no longer have to wake up and ask for motivation. You no longer have to rely on motivation or rely on a worldly status, or money amount made. You wake up and you have this vision of the man you want to become, the vision that God has placed you here with. It's like, I'm going to be that guy in 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, whatever it is. Like, I'm going to be that guy. So guess what? I got to step up to the plate today to become that guy. And you realize, like, myself, my God, and my people, we all deserve that guy. So my actions, if you take the action today of skipping the workout, of not taking the action to grow whatever it is you're trying to grow, understand that's selfish, because you, your people, and your God, flip that order, God first, but they deserve the absolute best version of you. And that's what I'm so sold on for myself. And that's what keeps me going every single day. Like, my people deserve the absolute best version of me. Anyone who crosses my path deserves the absolute best version of me. And that's why I will do anything and everything I can every single day to build into that man, because I know there's going to be one day where my preparation is going to meet opportunity to change someone's life. And if I'm not prepared, I'm going to miss that opportunity, and their life may not, I don't want to say I'm a lifesaver, but I know I've improved a lot of men's lives. So it's like, I don't want to miss that opportunity for that day that Vinny calls me and he needs a brother in Christ to lean on. It's like the best I could be for him. He deserves that whenever that time comes, if that time comes, whoever it is.
So what's your goal with in general and with Elevate? You said you want to get to 500 subscribers by the end of this year. You'll be sitting
Yeah.
pretty at that point, but I don't think you're taking your foot off the gas, are you?
No, 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 man. So my big overarching just goal is, I mean, I want to build a brand that people can tie themselves to, and it means something. Like, I want people to say, I am a part of Elevate, and that gives them a foundation of values to stand on. I want it to be a foundation for men to stand on and to go seek their godly potential. So, whatever that is, like, God places so many things in so many men's hearts. Like, you got this investment thing that God has just placed in your heart. You want to serve other people through helping them build their wealth. Like, that is just incredible. And if I can provide you a foundation and a support system and equip you with tools and whatever you need, and a brand that backs you with beliefs to go stand on that, go build your mission, like that is going to be the biggest form of impact that I can have. So I ultimately, I want to build a brand that just gives people a foundation of values to stand on to go build the vision God has placed in art, brother. That's my big overarching. If I can even scratch the surface of that, I'll go out of here one happy man.
Yeah, man, it's funny, like, I'm kinda still early stages here, like, took the plunge and, just figuring it out, but, like, I'm loving it so far, and it's funny, like, what I found, my motivation is originally I got into all this because, like, I didn't wanna work, like, I was just like, "This blows," like, I don't wanna do the 9 to 5, I wanna be retired, but what I've realized is, like, now I love what I do, like, it doesn't feel like work, and I think that's the key because it's like, that was my initial motivation, but now, like, I don't think I'll ever not work, like, this is too much fun, it's like and, I guess that tells you everything you need to know, but, like, I mean, all I really wanted to accomplish here was like, if I could buy that Tesla, if I could get like a nice little beach condo, maybe like I'd just kind of be set. I'd be off the grid here. But like I feel like I see like what you're saying. Like it never really ends. That's what was cool to see and seeing everyone down in Nashville again, just that this journey progress like is continuous. Like there is no end. There's always more work to be done.
Hmm. Yeah, man. Like when you truly have a servant's heart, like when that is the condition of your heart, when you're placed here to serve and just to help other people, which both of us are, you've clearly expressed that to me many times. Like I just want to help people, dude. Whether it's building their wealth, whether it's whatever, inspiring them to go out and run an Ironman, and like whatever it might be. It's like when you truly have a servant's heart, there's more lives to impact and to help to serve. So it's like you're never gonna stop. You just can't stop. And I don't think I heard this from Hormozy, is like too many people play a finite game rather than an infinite game. It's like the game is not meant to be won. The game is meant to continue being played. It's like that. You could say that's true about entrepreneurship. Yeah, like you just want to keep your business in the game. Like you don't want to win the game. Even if you say you want to scale and exit and leave and sell for millions of dollars, like you still are going to want to stay in the game. So it's like once I realized that, like this is long term. This is not ending. And then what keeps something long term? Like what keeps it around? Is it a brand? Is it a massive business? Is it money? Is it influence? Like what is it? And I found the answer. It's people. That's what keeps something going. Like when I die, what keeps Elevate alive? What keeps the values alive, the identity alive, the teaches, the practices, like we still practice some things today that have fallen through culture over many hundreds of thousands of years. Like it's like what is going to keep something alive? It's like people. So it's like, okay, relationships are the biggest thing I need to focus on. I mean, we can look at something like simple as the American flag right here, like the Pledge of Allegiance in the school system, or like the national anthem. Like I don't know when those things were established, but people are what keeps those things going, what keeps those values strong, things that I believe in wholeheartedly, and so that's what we need to focus on is relationships and people if we want to have an impact that goes beyond even our lifetime here on earth.
Yeah, and I think that's another perfect example of those little things create this sense of community and unity and what we're largely lacking today. There is no like feeling that we're all on the same team. There's so much division. Everyone's just kind of at each other's throats.
Yeah, I think we find unity again. I'll go back to God, but I think we find unity in our identity in God. I think that is the only way and the only complete whole way we are going to find that. I think everyone wants to attach to something worldly because they want to understand. Like as people, like we have this human nature desire to understand stuff. Like we don't want to just do something and not understand why we did it or how it happened. Like we want to understand. And when people don't understand faith, they don't understand God, well, then they try to turn to something else because he's a God who can't be understood. There's just no way. So then they turn to something else, and that's when they latch onto something worldly, politics, whatever it is. We don't even have to go down that train, but they latch onto a worldly identity. And I think the only way, we're going to be one in unity is truly an identity in Christ. But it's my take. Who am I?
So you're a young, successful entrepreneur. You're doing amazing things, and it's amazing, like just to see how much you've already accomplished. And I'm excited to just keep following along here and what you're gonna do. But what do you think? Like, what would your message be to people? Like, what does it take to succeed?
What does it take to succeed? Um, I mean, I can go back to faith, but I'll stay away from faith, and I'll go some other. I think a commitment to an outcome. But I think the biggest thing to understand is you're only going to make this commitment once you have a deep enough reason why. So it's like you're not going to make the commitment to an outcome of making six figures and then expect your business to succeed or whatever in life to succeed based on this commitment to drive a Tesla or to make six figures. You need a commitment that goes beyond anything worldly. You need a commitment, like a commitment with a deep reason why attached behind it. And my deepest reason why for this season of life, I mean, aside from just I see this vision that God has placed in my heart, aside from that, my deepest reason why is to provide for my future family. Like when one day when I have a wife and I have kids, and especially kids that just depend on me for everything, like I want to be capable, bro. I want to be able to provide money. I want to be able to protect. I want to be able to serve. I want to be able to teach them all the lessons that I can teach them. Like I want to be able to do it all. So that is a deep emotional reason why. That is why I'm able to make a commitment to an outcome in my business, in my faith, in my body, in my health. So that would be my biggest thing for success is you need a commitment, but the problem is people make the commitments to the wrong things. You need a deep emotional reason why to commit to find that and achieve that vision.
Great stuff. Is there anything else we didn't get to you want to talk about?
Not really, man. I'm just grateful for you, bro. I appreciate you jumping on here with me, giving me the opportunity to rant and ramble. One of my favorite things to do is to talk. So I appreciate anyone who gives me the opportunity to talk, and I appreciate anyone listening to this. Like if you took the time to listen to this, like share this pod, share this show. Like let's get Vinny's pod out there to other people. Let's spread this value. If you got value from this, I know you did because you're sitting here looking at Vinny's stash, and that's value enough. So share this thing out, help Vinny grow this thing and this platform that he has, because his mission is to serve and to help other people. And I think that if you are a good-hearted person listening to this, you can get behind that. So share this freaking show.
Boom. And let us know who wore it better with the stash in the comments below. I don't think I don't think mine's gonna last. The girlfriend's not a big fan. Might have to go, but
Got a lead, brother. I'm just playing, man.
well, Matt Moore, where can people find you?
Twitter's my hotspot. Matt S Moore _ where you'll get some amazing takes on faith, amazing takes on health, and then a couple not so amazing takes because I'm just a real guy that's gonna put out real shit. I will not be somebody else on the internet other than who I am. So get ready for just real.
The authenticity is key. I'll link to those his Twitter in the description below, and definitely check out Elevate as well.
Yeah, brother. I'll send you over the link to that as well.
Matt Moore, it's been an honor, brother.
Much love, bro.